We get asked a lot, don't we, Dee, about the takeaway and how to take the club away properly. And it's so important. It's like
vital.
Very early in the swing.
It's one of the two main secrets to the golf swing.
We just did a tip on the secret to the golf swing, so we'll link that one. But we did talk about the fact that your setup and your takeaway are probably the secret. If you had to, pick a secret,
exactly.
It would be the takeaway.
Yep. So people are often, as you say, they say, "Oh, do I start with my wrist? Do I push my left shoulder? Do I do it with my hands? Do I do it with my hip? Do I do it with my elbow?" And what you're really looking for in the takeaway
It might be best to face the camera for this one, and then we'll.
So what you're really looking for in the takeaway is a nice smooth and low club head. So if you have a look here, it's smooth and it's low and it's working on an arc. It's not straight back. It's not hinging straight away.
And Dee, you had a really good trick that you were telling me what you think about when you take the club away.
Yeah, exactly. I love this little trick. So the trick is, I'll show you I'll come in a little closer, Annie. We'll come in a little closer.
I'll just make sure we can see.
What I'm looking for is the winds come up. What we're looking for is...
I'm just holding the camera so it doesn't blow over.
The thumb, my left thumb, pushing against the palm of my right hand. And you can see when I'm doing that, it's just for 7 centimetres. The takeaway.
That's very exact, Dee, 7 centimetres. I'm just trying to think, are people going to know? It's just like the first sort of 6 inches or something.
Your hands get near your right foot, basically.
Yeah.
But it's just that little...
There's that initial movement
the initial
away.
movement. And have a look, Annie, when I'm doing that, what's my shoulder doing?
It's moving, isn't it?
Okay, and have a look even down on my hips. When I do that, there's also a little bit of movement in the hips. It's not totally still.
That's right, which is what you want. You don't want just the body. A lot of people think, oh, I can't move my body.
Yeah.
But that's not, it's got to move. That's completely wrong.
And if we look at it from here, when I'm doing that with a golf club, and this is like the chip is the first part of the big swing.
Yep.
See what's happening? I'm not going this way.
That's right. There's not a lot of wrist
I'm not doing
on.
that, which leads to disconnection. I'm moving it just back and see how it's all moving together. For me, Annie, the trick is the left thumb pushing, and I feel like my club head and the end of my club are just for a little bit travelling together.
Just for that early part.
Just for that early part.
Because we get the question a lot, Dee, when is the wrist breaking? Don't we? We get that a lot. So when does the wrist break?
Well, in my opinion, and it's been proven, if you have a look here, unless you're a one-axis person who sets up that way, our wrists are already partly hinged. In the first movement, I'm moving it away. I've still got them hinged. They're not doing that. And then it's a gradual hinge. It's no...
Just do that facing the camera too, won't you, Dee?
Okay.
That gradual... So it's a gradual breaking of the wrists.
The wrists are already partly hinged here.
Yes.
I'm moving them away just to there. Nothing's really happened with the hinge. They're moving away together. And then it's a gradual hinge.
I think it's a natural motion, isn't it? There's not some point where you suddenly break your wrists. Yeah. And at the same time, you don't break them beforehand.
Absolutely.
So it's a sort of a letting it happen naturally.
Exactly. And you're swinging on an arc. So if we just closed our fist, my left hand like that, and I said swing back. So I close my left hand and I swing back, my wrists naturally hinge. I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they naturally hinge.
So they naturally hinge.
And it goes back to your grip a little bit too, Dee, doesn't it? If your grip's good, the wrists will hinge of their own accord.
Absolutely.
Fairly naturally.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of little drills to help you get the right feel for the good takeaway.
Yes, so we've sort of gone the little trick.
Got the little trick with the thumb. So just to explain that again, the first 7 inches or so, the left thumb is just pushing. This is for right-handers, opposite for left-handers.
I would also recommend to our viewers to practice their chipping quite a little bit, because that's the first part of the swing, really, just practicing that chipping. So we've got that, our little chip shot, so you're doing that. The left thumb pushing. The other thing I like to do is I've got this little line here, and it's not straight back. I'm swinging, there's that first little bit, and you can see it's just swinging on an arc. It's not going straight back. It's not hinging out and separating, so I'm just swinging around to the side.
So you're kind of hugging your left side a little bit with the left arm as you go back, aren't you?
Well, you know, that's so true, Annie. That's exactly what's happening, and that's why this trigger of the left thumb pushing, you have a little look here. So if my left thumb pushes just to there, see how I'm connected?
Face the camera on that one, Dee.
I'll just show you here, but if I hinge too soon,
Yes.
It disconnects.
Yeah, and you get that gap. You don't want the gap.
So if I do that, I'm disconnecting.
Yes.
If I do that, I'm connecting. So that push gets you connected as well. So that was a great point.
So those two things, hugging down the left side, pushing with the thumb, that's going to start you off.
Yeah.
Then allow the wrist to break when it wants to.
And even have a golf club down or an alignment stick. And know you're swinging on an arc. The golf swing isn't straight back and straight through.
Yes, people make the mistake, I think, may I just swap you off, of thinking, oh, I don't want to break my wrist. So they end up, you know, you have to break it at some point, or they're so conscious of the wrist break that they're putting it in here.
Absolutely.
So those tips are really going to help. And we've got this orange whip as well, which is another good little gadget.
This is one of my favourite training aids. Now it's very interesting because it was used for people to warm up and get them warming up.
It's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I found is no matter what, I don't want to be too technical, but no matter what your biomechanics are, it'll get your takeaway happening correctly for you, and it also puts the shaft in the right position. And it wasn't designed for that.
Wow,
so maybe,
that is amazing, actually.
Yeah, it is amazing. Every time it happens, I go, oh no. And I've got it all on video to show that everyone gets into their
And you can just buy these online. These are called the Orange Whip. We don't sell them or anything, but we do recommend them.
And I would recommend for most people just to get the mid-size. You can get junior ones as well, and heavier ones. But you know, and the whip ball is very good. So the way I use it is I'm starting here, and I'll do it front on, and I'm just getting that push. So I feel like I'm leaving the orange ball behind. Okay. Just for that first little bit. See how I'm connected from behind?
Yes, yep.
So here I'm just leaving. It's moving, but I feel like I'm leaving it behind because it's. Yeah. And what you'll find, Annie, is when we do this, I'm just going to swing a little further back. I don't know if that's in the video, and it went into my perfect position.
Yeah, wow. Interesting.
I know, it's phenomenal. I mean, maybe they should pay us for researching that and finding
and recommending it.
But yeah, it is amazing if used
properly.
Yeah, and just that is such a trick. So get an orange whip ball, practice on that. Yeah. Use your golf club, getting the push happening. Don't have a golf club and just get that feeling. So in reality, everything, things are moving in their right sequence. People may feel it differently.
You hear one piece takeaway a lot, don't you? And it is a little bit of that, but not for too long. Just that early part. Everything's moving.
Exactly, and it's just the one piece to there. So really, actually, I just thought of something. Our viewers might like this. So just to describe that one piece idea. So here I am set up, and I'm just going to go to here, like what we said. Now, if I just turn my feet around to face the club, look how I'm back in my exact same position. Whereas if I was to do this, that's not one piece. Now I turn my feet around, look where the club is.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Everything's out of position. So maybe that's kind of what one piece might mean.
Yeah.
We should do what does a definition actually mean.
Yeah, that's right. There's so much jargon, isn't there, in golf, where you don't even really know what all these things mean. Even we sometimes don't know what these things are supposed to mean.
Which is not like us.
So that's your takeaway. So important to get it right. It sets you up for a really good swing. And there's a few little tips to help you practice the correct takeaway.
And we would both recommend you go practice your little chip shot around the fringe of the green, because that'll improve your takeaway.
Improve your scoring. And it improves your takeaway. Yeah. They both get improved.
So let us know how that goes, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bye.